Coach's Corner is presented by Roanoke Valley Harley Davidson. Stop by their store on Peters Creek Road for new and used motorcycles, service and repair, along with Harley Davidson clothing and collectibles.
Hello and welcome in to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Mitch, Stewart, and this afternoon I'm joined by Rail Yard Dawgs head coach Dan Bremner. Dan, thanks for joining me.
Of course.
You had a really good test this past weekend against two really good opponents in Fayetteville and Birmingham, and it felt like throughout the weekend you guys were able to progress and kind of learn and get up to speed against those two good teams. What were some of your takeaways in playing those two teams on the road, and how important was it, especially for some of these newcomers, to maybe get that experience of some playoff-style hockey?
Obviously we were pumped about this weekend playing two good teams, and Fayetteville continues to load up, and Birmingham's on top of the standings. We knew it was going to be a challenge. It's kind of the fear when you play teams that aren't very high in the standings. We had Knoxville a bunch of times, we had Macon a few times before that. And when you're playing consistently, those teams that are lower in the standings, you know, we did quite well against them, and we started feeling pretty good about ourselves. And you know, then you get to a team that's playing hard. With Fayetteville, there, you know, went on a bit of a skid. We've been in those moments throughout the past years, and you're playing so hard. You're scraping. You're desperate for points, and you're playing real hard hockey. And we went in there feeling pretty good about ourselves, and kind of got punched in the mouth. And it's a great wake-up call for this group. It's a good time for it to understand that, you know, winning's hard in this league. It never comes easy, and against better and better teams, it is really desperate hockey wins, and we need guys that are playing good, heavy, hard hockey. And I saw a great progression throughout the weekend. The wake-up call Thursday. I thought Friday we played a pretty good game, and even there, we talked about it after, is, you know, when things aren't going your way, you got to double down, and you got to be playing near perfect hockey to really get over that hump, and put on an even better performance on Saturday to overcome it.
It feels like you found a really good line with Brennan Stanko, Jacob Kelly, and CJ Stubbs. They were really humming around on Saturday night in particular. What did you kind of think about the play of that group on Saturday night, and maybe moving forward? Is that going to be a group that we see a little bit more of?
Yeah, it seems like there's a couple lines that are really coming together. That's one of them. I mean, Kelly, since coming off the IR, has been really dynamic for us in every aspect. I think he's found a new level to his game as far as moving his feet. It's a big part of it, and him getting up and down the ice and really sprinting for those battles has become a real factor. And, you know, Stanko, since has continued to get better since we picked him up early in the season, and CJ Stubbs, you can't say enough about. The guy does it all for us. You know, I think we got another line in Dom, Dater, and Dickey there that we had together, and they're starting to find some chemistry as well. So we got a couple of units that are really looking to solidify themselves.
Brendan Pepe on the back end has been up at the top of the leaderboard on the SPHL defenseman list. He leads the league in goals. He's second in points, and he's also first on the team this year in plus minus for the Dawgs. When you've had CJ Valerian sidelined for a long time, and Matt O'Day's had a couple of injuries at various points this year that have threatened his availability, how big is it to continue to kind of see his progression and his improvement throughout this season on the back end for you guys?
Yeah, Peps has been awesome, and seeing his progression over the course of 2 years has been pretty incredible. You know, the start of this year, he came in, shot out of a cannon, and the way he was playing, we said, man, he's up for maybe D-Man of the year as far as that. And there's always waves through a season, but I think he's done a good job of kind of maintaining progress. And his big thing is he can make such dynamic plays, and he's just got to limit the risk on him. And as long as he's doing that, you know, he's a difference maker every time he touches the ice for us.
You bring in Matteo De Julio this week from Adrian. He just won a national championship there as the team captain. What can you kind of tell us about his game and how he may factor into the lineup here moving forward?
You know, seeing him the last few days, seeing some video on him, he's a bull. You know, he's gonna skate a million miles an hour. He's gonna go to body contact. He's gonna go to the front of the net. He's a little bit reckless with his body. And I think that's something that we need an addition in our lineup. So I'm excited to see him against a big, strong quad team coming to Berglund Center this weekend, and I think he's going to be quite a factor.
A couple of other moves this week. Anthony Sonato gets waived. Xavier Filion ends up going back to Quebec. We talked about it in the past couple of weeks as far as the amount of talent that you have at your disposal this year, and it's created some good headaches with some really successful recruiting. Do you kind of feel like this may be the most challenging time that you've had as far as trying to find the right pieces and get it down to that 20-man roster when you've had so many good players available?
For me, yeah, absolutely. You know, in the past, it's really been the bread and butter that we've pushed, that hard hockey, and we needed to. Every game had to be that hard hockey to win. It's been a different challenge this year as far as the talent level on this team. I think there's games throughout the season where our effort and compete haven't been top notch, and these guys, they can be down in the third and they find a way to put 3 up in 3 minutes or 3 up in 5 minutes and come out with the win. And sometimes when you're getting rewarded for that not perfect game or not playing the right way, it can be toxic. All the credit to the guys in the locker room that they continue to stay on course and stay humble even in those moments. But yeah, it's been different as far as that talent level and having to find the right pieces rather than just what we can pull in here. And a guy like Sonato came in on fire. He's got unbelievable speed. He's a great guy. For us, making that change to potentially give Mateo the chance is just seeing that we need a bit heavier in our lineup too. We've got some skill and we've got depth at those skill positions, but having somebody that plays that heavier game consistently is something that I think our lineup needs. On the other side with Philly, he's been awesome for us. Love him. He's a great kid. Felt like the spark in the game just wasn't quite there through the rest of the season for him, and I wish him the best going forward, and who knows if our paths cross again.
You guys start a 5-game homestand this upcoming weekend. Quad City comes into town first. You all did see them, but it was all the way back before Halloween and week 2 of the year. Obviously, both teams have changed drastically since then.
Yep.
They were one of the hottest teams in the league before this past weekend when they got swept at Peoria. What do you kind of see from Quad City when you kind of go through your scouting, and what's going to be key for you guys this weekend to make sure you guys have some good results?
Yeah, Quad. They got a few key players out with either suspension or IR situations. Obviously, they're prepping their lineup for playoffs, which happens so quickly that you got to make sure you're healthy. But Quad, as far as I see it, they've iced the same team over the last couple years, or similar team, same model, but very, very skilled. They got guys that can put the puck in the net from the outside. They can shoot from the outside, and they play with a heavy game. Both nets, both creases. They're going to protect their house very strongly, and they go to the net very, very hard. So we expect to see more of that. And then, like I said, playing that heavy game down the stretch, I'm excited that this challenge is coming to us this time of year.
Dan, best of luck to you all this weekend against Quad City.
Thanks, Mitch.
That's going to do it for this episode of Coach's Corner. The Rail Yard Dogs back home for 5 straight, starting this Friday and Saturday night against the Storm. 7:05 both nights, and a reminder that Saturday night is Scooby-Doo night, sponsored by Virginia Transformer and Q99. Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you have a great rest of your day.